Drop Nation, what it do? And y'all be proud of me, man. Y'all should be proud of your boy, man. You know what I mean? Drop's been putting in overtime. Finally got a full update, man, on all the Drop Nation Ether Squad shows popping off at 432thedrop.com. Download the app 432 The Drop Radio, Google Play, man. iTunes, Apple, all that, man. Download 432 The Drop Radio ASAP so you can get in the wave and know what's popping right now. We in that Turf Thursday live replay. Let go. Yeah, man, we're going to get some of this Yosef the Real. We're going to talk primary MeM because the bro's been putting in clear vision, clear water, man, so that we can see that all the water, man, it surrounds us, you know what I'm saying? But there's so much water untapped right beneath us, man. That's just primary. I mean, the bro goes in, man. I mean, download. The dope thing about this time around is that all these are downloadable. You got the hashtag facts right here, man. Love to my jigger, Low Keith KB, Yosef the Real, CJ Battle, Natural by Law all day, man. Hashtag facts. You can download it right here, man. This is the only place, exclusive at 432thedrop.com. You can download hashtag facts. We also got a couple more from the tribe that you can listen and download and enjoy, man. My Jigga, you know what I mean? Gemini, man. Get that drop, man. Beautiful thing. Yosef the Real, Natural by Law, Ether Cut. We got that CJ Battle, that new, that change level in 432 Hertz. Dig on it, man. Dig on it, man. Keep surfing the wave. Love to my man out here in the wood, man. Out here in Inglewood City. What it do, man? King Thurs gave a great interview for Turf Thurs last week, man. So get all that, man. Download the drop. And yeah, definitely get that Zion reading, man. All these you can download, man. So surf the wave. We just surfing the wave. Hey, man. Hey, for all the great support, man, with the, the drop clearance, all the orders are going out on Monday coming up. So, Ahchwa for your patience, and we got them all together for you. So, much Ahchwa, keep supporting the drop gear. We'll have another clearance coming up, man. And, right now, just support the drop shop full of great goodies, man, from the tribe, the indigenous flow, support indigenous business in the drop shop. Gotta let them know, man. So, yeah, get your scroll on. And you're going to see, a lot of your favorite, ether squatters out here making it happen. All your favorite wave surfers are going to be in here doing their thing, man. So we're now caught up. You can look forward to getting all the drop right here. We got some more health drop, community drop, tech drop, all that drop, man. We're going to just keep it flowing like we normally, do, man. Dig on the categories if you're ever looking for anything specific. If you're ever looking for any specific wave surfer, you come all the way down here, man. And then just scroll and, if they dropping links, if they dropping, in the ether, we do our best to keep everybody, fully, apprised so you can see clearly, man. So we can all see clearly because we all want to enjoy the flow and enjoy the wave together. So we try to keep it all oriented right there for you, man. Hey, hop to the real ones. We back on track, man. This is the home of Drop Nation. Come in here, surf the wave like you do. Get in the Drop Radio. What we got going on, man?
Losing speed, damage, ribs and bleed, battered by police, tragic web, weed, web, a tragedy. Goddamn, boy, I'm giving you the three. Cops smile and splash, bullet grace sleep. Of a kind on the run who can't believe all this for some weed.
Dedicated from the dispensary.
Oh, man. The cop tried to make him stop asking for ID. And the con said, why you jamming me? I'm real life, not property. Then he turned to leave. Cop grabbed his piece.
Beat him in the street. Goddamn.
And the cop fall back, so the cop on his back, reach quick for the strap, the alley in the back, and the jacket the crack, on the click go cat, from the gauge in the rage, the cop on the jack, and the cop fell traps, turn around with the strap.
Who you calling black? Yeah, to see so many places. Man, love to Yosef the Real. We went in on this one, man, kind of many faces. It's all happening, man. This is Turf Thursday live from our spiral to yo spiral, man. Tune in tomorrow, man, for that tie battle poetry, 6 o'clock Pacific. We honor our sister who's written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of poems for Drop Nation. And I gotta upgrade those tie battle. I gotta not upgrade them, excuse me. I gotta update, not upgrade tie battle. We can't upgrade your poetry. It's superior MeM. But we gotta update our site and get that tie battle poetry updated for you as well. So that's a great reminder. Get in the drop chat, surf the wave, man. We got a new look, man. It was a drop chat, man. We got a new look, man. We got that Drop City vibe popping off in the drop chatter. You know, right now I'm just getting cozy. Cozy 1 a.m. in LA, you know. A rainy day. Oh, my sister Charmaine in the building. Hey, hi, Charmaine. Hey, hi, Robert Salazar. Anthony Johnson, AJ. Yeah, man. Just got a little Drop City vibration going on. You see the car in the background. You know, we just dipping. We just dipping past the mountaintop, man. Dipping past the mountain, man. Love the tech, man. He's been in here, man, getting it in, man. So yeah, surf the wave, man. Drop Nation, what it do? Let's get to it. Like I said, these are all downloadable, man. So all this drop you can download. You know, try to keep it fluid for you over here. Try to keep it fluid. Get in that energy frequency, Tokep, but not. This is episode number 9, man. Every Sunday, 7 o'clock Pacific, following my jigger. And following that, we got that Tecumseh, a magic and herb drop. Love the vibration, love the flow. The brother is for real. And just trust me on that one. For real. A-Hop Tech. All right, we're going to get some of this. Let's first belly flop a little in this drop right here. What's really going on with the Australian fires? Love to the Crow House. Does great work here. Look, man, what's going on? What they about to explain about what's going on with the Australian fires is exactly what's going on, period. And this is very interesting. So tune all the way in. And let's get it like this. And let's get it like that. Love to the Crow House.
We bring in the oceanic rain. We need to be conscious it's not about delivering rain on land. It's about nurturing a rain system that can promote agriculture and protect the people involved.
Nurturing a rain system. So this is some jabroni who's headlining, this public appearance to make this seem like a good thing, just like they do with vaccines. Oh, this is a good vaccine. It's going to cure all this stuff. In the meanwhile, it's giving you all this shit. It's a poo sandwich. And this is a poo sandwich. It's a technological poo sandwich. They're controlling the weather, controlling the rain, controlling the floods, controlling the droughts, controlling the fires.
Okay, we want to make sure we don't get flooding, but we can deliver timely rain in a gentle soaking manner into agricultural targets. Technology relies on a signal that we're able to generate that triggers a response from atmospheric patterns. So we're able to observe this using satellite meteorology, extensively available now to everyone who's got access to broadband internet. But we're able to utilize that signal sent in sequence to generate a incremental deviation in the flow path of these oceanic atmospheric rivers.
So that sounds good, man. Oh boy, that sounds good. We're going to, be instrumental with the flow. Look, man, you're causing super duper rivers in the sky. Let's make sure we don't cause flooding, but we will be able to bring water to Africa. These Africans, look, man, they need us. They need the white savior. Hey, always beware of the white savior. When they play white savior, hey, look, man, beware. Because it's always a trick. He got one hand up, the other one behind his back. Super rivers in the sky.
Source is the ocean, of course. The vapor reciprocal moisture.
Remember, he says that the source is the ocean.
Flow is in the atmosphere. The winds drive this, with the pressure systems adjusting the path of least resistance. But our technology is able to interface that and hack into it, if you like, and make some micro adjustments to allow deviations to occur in the flow pathways. And this is how we broke the drought in Australia in 2005. This is how we put out the fires in Victoria from Black Saturday in 2009. This is how we delivered rain in the desert in Saudi Arabia in 2007, and smoke for the first time in history in 2004 in United Arab Emirates. There's been other projects above the radar and some under the radar, but today for the first time we're putting our hand up in front of the media to say this is available. We're going to run this project here to break the drought in the Horn of Africa. We're meeting with Cabinet, Federal Cabinet for Kenya and the Prime Minister and other parties and authorities in the region. We've met extensively with United Nations teams and agencies, and we're planning to do this in the most careful manner. Firstly, to bring some gentle rain in to give food for the food for the cattle and the livestock, so milk can be produced, so the human survivability can go up. Once that survivability has gone up, then we can look at more substantial rains that can be suitable for crop.
What is this technology?
Essentially, we're drawing oceanic rain systems that exist over the oceans into geographic targets, into our agricultural areas. The technology uses electromagnetics, so we're not interfering with the atmosphere or with the environment. We're not damaging it. We're not using chemicals fired through rockets like other technologies use. We use a very gentle but powerful technology launching electromagnetics into the atmosphere.
Electromagnetics. Skip all the fluff, cozy stuff. This paisan over here is really telling you something. Because if he's now the face, or if he was the face really, slipped under the rug, even though this is, public media, I mean, not too many people really got this. Not too many people really got this coverage, you know what I mean? So he's the face. You gotta imagine the jabroni in the background, you know what I mean, and what they're doing with the company that you never heard of, with the private patents you never heard of. If they could take what he did or take what he's representing, even though he's saying that he's meeting specifically, and intensely with the UN. So, I mean, that's pretty much what it is at that point. If you're meeting intensely with the UN, I mean, please believe there's government patents all over the place. And it's been like that. I mean, we can go into the cloud seeding drop and all these patents and the chemtrails and all this stuff. But now we can see, not even what the end game is, but, what is the beginning of the full play. Because while we're saying, all right, are they blocking the sun? What are they doing? Why do they keep spraying me every day? So that they can control your weather every day. So that they can keep you sick every day. I'm over here trying to fight it off. I feel like I was just trying to fight off something. I'm like, damn, it's because this weather's all wacky. And whatever they blowing in, like he's saying, we bringing in systems from the ocean that have no business being on our land, that Hawaii's not putting here, and they're blowing it in. Who knows what the hell they're blowing in? Well, whatever they're blowing in can't be worse than what they are already dropping on our head, man. With these chemtrails, with aluminum, with barium, desiccated blood. Yes, man, it has desiccated blood cells. You look it up. Just like the vaccine got these cultures, these fetal cultures, right? Same thing in the air. They got desiccated blood cells, man. This is a witch's potion. This is witchcraft. This is sorcery. This is necromancy. And it happens every day. While you celebrate their holiday, holy days, while you celebrate to their gods, they're still doing potions in the air. And now, man, you just need to understand and understand and understand. It's a silent weapon, and it's a quiet war. We're going to get on that Yosef the Real, who's been doing excellent work. I mean, excellent work. I mean, excellent work. I mean, hard work and dedication, live in the ether, from season to season, ever since he got on. First, he said, man, I'm about to pop off. What's good with this ether squad? Then he said, hey, I'm going to become the first Dragon sponsor on the wall. Yosef became the first dragon sponsor on the wall. I'm over here trying to tell people, go check it out, go support. I didn't have to tell Yosef that. He became the first dragon on the wall. Wow, rocking every single week, period. Every week in the ether, if we do 9 months, he shows up for 9 months straight. He's a real one, and we're going to get the drop from Yosef the Real. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube page. Just put in Yosef, D-A, real, man, and get the real spill. Now, what's the real spill on this electromagnetic technologies steering the weather, man?
That exist over the oceans, into geographic targets, into our agricultural areas. The technology uses electromagnetics, so we're not interfering with the atmosphere or with the environment. We're not damaging it. We're not using chemicals fired through rockets.
You're not damaging it unless it's weaponized to cause damage, man. Double talk.
Like other technologies use. We use a very gentle but powerful technology launching electromagnetics into the atmosphere to modify the flow of the weather system over the ocean and drawing it into a target. So
they park out in the oceans and they use the ocean water, as you heard him testify, using the ocean's water to create the water vapors, and then use the barium and the aluminum particles to steer the weather and create the rain if they want, or the drought if they want.
Bang. They use the barium and aluminum that's been spraying over your head every day with these damn chemtrails, these planes spraying just streaks of white stuff all over the place. Long streaks, short streaks, swirly streaks. And they bounce off that, and this is how they're bringing in these floods or droughts, fires, tornadoes. This is just one example of what Bill Gates was trying to push. And if he's pushing it publicly, you already know it's popping.
This is all part of the Bill Gates from hell funding to spray us like bugs, to control the weather and manipulate at will for their agenda. Can you remain silent while all this is happening? The Silver Lining Project and how it operates off the West Coast back in 2017.
3 to 5 inches, guys, in such a short period of time, there is going to be more flooding and much more damage.
As always, the simple and logical question is, how can this be? How can so much rain fall in such a short amount of time? Longtime Weather War 101 viewers already know the answer to that question, and it isn't an atmospheric river stretching from Hawaii.
Meantime, out west, stretching all the way from Hawaii into the West Coast, we got this Pineapple Express. We are watching this round of powerful new storms making...
Golly, can y'all see this? Because this is what we get hypnotized by. They're calling this the Pineapple Express because it's blowing off of Hawaii. When does something like this blow off of Hawaii? Unless something's pushing it off of Hawaii. And they put it in our face and they say Pineapple Express and all this cute little shit. And we're not even hip. We're not even hip to the technological bullshit that's going on, you know what I mean, right over us. He's saying all this like it's normal. He's saying all this like it's the thing to do. They put a diagram of a ball and arrows. Give him a ball, Bob. Bob, give him a ball and give him some arrows. That's going to just confuse the shit out of him. Look at this shit.
We are watching this round of powerful new storms making their way into California with even more heavy rains and high winds.
Why are meteorologists okay with repeatedly saying this water vapor is streaming from the island of Hawaii with no natural explanation for why that would be? Why would the island of Hawaii be providing this water vapor instead of the whole of the Pacific Ocean?
Bang.
Here's one very tangible reason for why that would be. A massive geothermal power plant with huge banks of fans capable of blowing tremendous amounts of water vapor into the air.
Bang.
This plant is conveniently located precisely at the beginning of the so-called atmospheric river.
Bang.
The Hawaiian Puna geothermal plant is exactly like the Californian geothermal plants, like Casa Diablo, that fuel the water vapor mass when it reaches the coast. Why can't meteorologists see with their own eyes that the so-called atmospheric river abruptly originates from the island of Hawaii, but is fueled by other, equally inexplicable sudden streams of water vapor? Why can't meteorologists see that when this artificially created water vapor stream reaches the coast of California, bursts of water vapor erupt from all over the state to complete the storm system and create the otherwise inexplicable deluge California is currently experiencing?
Come on, man. We begin that weird rain, weird weather. This shit just turns and just... We from here, man. This shit ain't normal. You from where you from. This shit ain't normal. Come on, bro. Once you know that they doing this, man, you wake up even that much more, man. I thought, you know what I'm saying? We thought we was awake 3 years ago. We're like, man, we still don't know shit. And then it's like, come on, bro. At some point, man, come on, man. You fumigating, spraying on top of us, poisoning our water, poisoning our food. You know what I mean? Controlling our weather, making us sick every day. Come on, bro. This is when you got to cling, man, to your real, frequency within, man. You got to go directly to Hawaii with no detour. No power before your power. Nothing negotiable. Nothing that can be misconstrued for power before your power. Nothing like that at all. Go directly to Hawaii. What's ever been wrong with that? Because clearly something's wrong with this picture here.
Insane. For years, Weather War 101 has explained why geoengineers have such difficulty getting it to rain in California. This system depends on sequential water vapor generation from one state to the next, adding to storm systems until saturation point is reached. California, being at the beginning of this nationwide cycle, has no states before it to bring storm systems to saturation. Since there are far fewer water vapor generators in the Pacific than there are on land, sufficient water vapor to tip saturation point rarely reaches California. However, recent evident increases of the number of water vapor generators in the Pacific have produced enough water vapor concentration on several instances for the on-land water vapor generators to push them past saturation. This is the verifiable sequence of events that produces these rare rainstorms in California, and it is the verifiable sequence of the current storm as well.
Bang. It's all happening.
Here we see streams of water vapor burst from nowhere as if from a fire hose.
Come on, man.
In fact, in the perpetual effort to numb the public to reality, fire hose is quite often exactly how they refer to it. Here we see more streams. Here we see even more streams. These streams are intended to combine and bring near saturation water vapor mass to California, where it can be tipped to force rain. These streams are clearly not the result of slow evaporation from the sun. Clearly, this rapid water vapor generation comes from fixed sources in the Pacific Ocean. The most definitive way to show deliberate intent is to show the on-land water vapor generation streams that are intended to push the incoming water vapor past saturation point. Observing this proves the coordination and deliberate intent to make it rain, And once you understand the process, you can witness it with any storm on the planet.
All they doing is making it rain. And what does that do? Cause floods or droughts. Cause tornadoes, cause storms, or fires. If they put the proper conditions, they know the right conditions. This is all computerized. I mean, really, you're talking about artificial intelligence at the end of the day, hacking into all this weather system stuff. Now the AI got control of the weather. Oh boy, you see where this is going.
Here we see streams of water vapor generation in advance of the incoming water vapor mass. Again, in 2017, this is the only way storm systems happen, and it's the reason that when it does rain, it comes down in deluge. While the social media bot networks misdirect and shift focus to Governor Jerry Brown failing to upgrade the emergency spillway, the real question people need to be asking is, where did all of this water suddenly come from after 4 years of severe drought? No rational person would blame the governor for not upgrading an emergency spillway during extreme drought unless they were
I mean, wasn't the old boy talking about the drought in Africa and all this? I said, oh, okay, California's in the drought? Give them hella water.
Aware of the capacity to create sudden, overwhelming events like this. Upgrading an emergency spillway during extreme drought would be like demanding snow tires.
3 to 5 inches, guys, in such a short period of time, there is going to be more flooding and much more damage. Watch these videos.
They're very clear. Now I want you to see these fires over here. All the microwave activity happening in here. Popcorn cloud, all that microwaves from the satellites, I'm thinking. I'm sure if I'm doing it wrong, someone will tell me. Here you go, look at all those waves. Not good, driving that weather away from the fires. And you look here at this weather here, radio waves right in here. Look at them. Look at those waves. Driving that weather, that rain, everything away from the fires.
So they're driving the rain away from the fires. They're driving, whether it's weaponized rain or there's natural rain that's supposed to be coming in, they said, nope, you can't come in. And they're pushing it away. And now she's going to talk about, all these waves popping up. And remember, they said they're using electromagnetic waves, radiation, this technology. Electromagnetic tech, right?
Okay, now look over here. More microwaves. Look at that. Look at all those waves. Okay, not natural. And look how it's driving that cloud away. Invincible popcorn cloud. That's what they're called. Okay, now what I wanted to show you as well is over here with this system here. Now if you look at the lid, it shows a rectangle at the eye. Okay, they don't do rectangles. Okay, look at this. Squares, rectangles, doesn't happen in nature. It's round normally. But I am watching to see what this area is going to do in the future. Not too sure. I'm sure other people that are a bit more experienced in this type of thing will know better than me.
Go.
But I'm trying.
Shout out to the Crow House, man. We got most of that there, man. I'll leave a link for you, man. We're going to get to this great primary MeM discussion, do a nice little belly flop, maybe even a triple belly flop into some of the great work that Yosef's been digging on. We're going to do this a lot more, man, with the tribe. So Now that I got updated, yeah, I mean, updated and upgraded. Can you dig? Hold up, man. Where's my, what I do with my main page? Oh, okay. I got yourself up there. Yeah, man, we get it over here. Ain't no thing. Yeah, come over here, man. Surf the wave. We're just now cranking back up, man. And, one we had to get, the fire, cranking up, you know what I'm saying? Just in our personal flow, you know what I mean? Just in our tribal flow. And now we're cranking into a nice dismount. We're going to end this year beautifully, man, into harvest season. Come our, uh, beautiful Yapa Baruch Pasak coming up, man. So we're going to do a great dismount into the real new year, you dig? So it's going to be a nice couple months. We just want to get back on track for that. By the time that hits, by the time it's harvest season, I just want to be fluid with everything, man. Fluid. So, hey, Hob, for surfing the wave, you know what I mean? With Drop over here, man, and all the Ether Squad and Drop Nation all across the plane continue to become dragon sponsors on the wall and let the, bread be broke, man, for all the Shabbatan tribe that's contributing, you know what I mean, every single day into the ether, you know what I mean? So these drop sponsorships go equally to everyone contributing directly in the ether, man. The Vibe Suite's coming back hot, man. Let's go. We just talking primary MeM. And I'll leave a couple of links and then we're going to belly flop, maybe a trifecta belly flop with the bro Yosef the Real. This is a great link. Love the Ahchwa Ty. Ty, you dropped some great underground river drop. I need to get that link again. This might be it. Might not be it. But that linked us to all of the underground rivers. I think it's a perfect time to start talking about that while we dig on this primary MeM. Underground rivers from the river Styx to Rio San Bueno of our Aventura. All right. By Richard Hagen or Hagen. All right. So it goes into Montezuma's treasure, which is interesting right here. It talks about a more recent tale comes to us courtesy of Southern Utah News, January 27th, 1990, based on a circle with downward arrow carved in a rock. Supposedly the Aztec treasure hiding sign for water trap. All right. Grant Child deduced that the hiding place of Montezuma's treasure was in the lower of the three ponds 6 miles north of Kanab. All right. A colleague made a dive and discovered a 1 by 2 meter tunnel, handmade in appearance. Approaching the entrance, he was caught in a heavy draft and feared being swept into an underground river. We're going to talk about primary MeM. Child wished to drain the lake, but the site unfortunately happens to be habitat to the endangered Kanab amber snail. Okay. Or so the government insists. So they say, nah. Amber snail, amber alert. The Mojave Desert, Branton, is the pseudonym of the American UFO investigator with a background, unsurprisingly, in paranormal research. Branton's work includes the likes of, all right, you got these right here. Let's dig on it. As we're more concerned with the underground water than underground Nazis, here's an excerpt from The Secrets of the Mojave. Let's get it big. Make sure we good. All right, let's go. We good. So the Powhatan Indians, as we have also related, tell of a race of Grecian or Egypt-like people. Grecian or Egypt-like. Well, Grecian you would think are white people, and Egypt are black people. So which one is it? Oh, so you're admitting that the Greeks are originally so-called black people, like Egypt-like. Got it. Let's go. With white robes, sandals, and long dark hair held back with a band who thousands of years ago arrived in North America in low rowing sailing vessels, the Powhats say that when Death Valley was still part of an inland sea connected to the Pacific Ocean through the Gulf of California, these Havmusus discovered an underground cavern system within the Panamint Mountains adjacent to the west edge of Death Valley, and within these vast caverns they built their civilization. To briefly review the Pauhut account, the legend says that these ancient people landed their ship near or just below large quays or keys or doors high up the eastern slope of the Panamints. Large doors north of the or east of the high up on the eastern slope of the Panamint Mountains. The Panamint Mountains adjacent to the west edge of Death Valley. We're just talking Cali. Doors, keys, caves, portals. Let's go. However, after centuries, the lake eventually dried up and disappeared, and as a result of this, they developed new methods of reaching the world beyond. We're just talking about worlds beyond the pole. But let's go. This, the Pauhut say, was when they began to experiment with the construction of silvery flying canoes. Come on, man. So when you think Indians, you're thinking low tech. When I think indigenous people, I know we're talking high tech. You dig? Bob Fryer, in thinking of water, we're talking about the primary water. And the American Dowser, winter 1990, adds a stratum of geological obfuscation. In the early 50s, a geochemist, metallurgist, mining engineer, and dowser named Stephen Reese theorized that a vast supply, listen up, because this is what the bro Yosef's about to go all the way in, bone. We're going to get a great dismount out of that for the trifecta. Let's get it. I'm talking primary water, right? Okay. I mean, why is that so important? Because you're thinking that your waters all have to come from one place, right? Just like, they've, completely monetized, power, electricity. Like, you got to get it from one place in the area, right? Their findings reveal. Hold on, let's back it up. So this Stephen Reese theorized that a vast supply of water, it's getting bigger. That's as big as we get. All right, let's go. A vast supply of water ran underneath the Mojave Desert, large enough to supply the needs of all the people in Southern California. So while they saying you're getting water from wherever the hell, you got water right underneath the desert now. Now you got to look at these deserts different. Because just like, in the Forbidden Histories of America by David or Daniel Lowe, he literally goes into around the 900s how Utah used to be, so much water like Mesopotamia, but all that water went into the underground channels, the waters below. And that became a famine for all the indigenous tribes like the Anasazi, love to the Hakan for bringing that out. Anasazi, the Hohokam, those who disappeared. And they had to clear out that area and do a pilgrimage. But we're just talking about the Toltecs. And now you got Israel the first, Israel the second, Israel the third. Daniel Lowe breaks it down in the Forbidden Histories of America. Go get the drop. So now these Toltecs are these, Israel the first, Israel the seconds, Israel the thirds. Quetzalcoatl himself is one of these Israels. And you're talking about Israel right here. Then they set up this Tenochtitlan popping off in the 1300s, after this migration, this famine. Now, this famine was caused by the waters going, beneath. The waters going beneath. Now, they're creating their famines and their droughts by this electromagnetic technology steering the weather. But in the 1950s, my people, geochemist Stephen Reese theorized that a vast supply of water ran under the Mojave Desert, large enough to supply the needs of all the people in Southern Cali, man. They talking about Flint and all this, not only fluoride, but metal, lead poisoning, all that. Imagine if our people there can get the primary MeM. Rice's conclusions were corroborated by a study done by civil engineers. Their findings revealed that there is, as Rice called it, primary water traveling in the deep rock fault system under the desert that had nothing in common with the water in the alluvium sedimentary aquifers. You thought all the water was connected, but the Most High said, I separate the water from the water. You thought the waters were all connected, but the Most High said, I'm separating water from water. How many separations of water from water? It could be infinite. Who knows? But we just talking about primary water, meaning that the water that hasn't been polluted, fluorided, poisoned. They don't want you to know that you can tap in, clock in to the primary MeM. Their findings reveal, this is science, people. This is sciencey. We're talking about the American Dowser Winter 1990, Bob Fryer, talking about the geochemist, metallurgist, and mining engineer Stephen Rice, who back then in the 50s said that water runs underneath this desert. And these conclusions were corroborated by a study, we're talking studies, science, done by civil engineers. Their findings revealed that, just like Rice said, there is primary water traveling in the deep rock fault system under the desert that had nothing in common with the water in the alluvium or the above sedimentary aquifers. This rock fissure water was also so pure that chlorination was unnecessary, and it ran like deep, life-giving veins in the earth. I mean, we are just talking about worlds beyond the pole. So what connects that water, right? What connects that water and that water, that water and that water? Now, when you think about being just one out of many earth ponds, man, and don't trip. We might be coming with a part 7. Love to Sister Sonia. We are witnessing the first shot, as far as our public knowledge, of a secret world beyond a pole. Call it a planet, a plane of existence. Now, what about this water? How do we tap in? How about all this water? But once you realize that you're just earth ponds, then you realize, oh, how much water is it? If there's an infinite plane of worlds beyond the pole, how much water is it? You look up in the sky, all you see is water. Now, what are they blocking us from seeing right here? That's the question. What are they blocking us? If this is a hoax, who blocks out a hoax? Oh, come on, man. This is 1972. Flat Earth Secret Work Show USA Archives. Get part 1 through 6, because we might be coming in hot with part 7. We just surfing the wave. All right, let's get this last part now. Show you a couple more links that we'll leave to you and let the bro Yosef, the real, take the wheel. Their findings revealed that just like Rice called it primary water traveling in the deep rock fault system under the desert that had nothing in common. It's completely separate with the water above, right, in the sedimentary rocks, right, the aquifers. This rock fissure water was also so pure that chlorination was unnecessary, and it ran like deep, life-giving veins in the earth. In fact, Rice contended that most underground water did not originate via precipitation that had gradually percolated through the soil as previously thought. Water is incomprehensible. Mama is incomprehensible. Wisdom is incomprehensible. We're just talking mama. MeM, mama is incomprehensible. So once it has reached a depth where the density of the soil becomes equal to its own, it simply cannot seep downward any further. He felt instead that the largest quantities of water underground were formed from the elements within the earth. Within the earth. And constituted primary water. So the Most High, Ahchwa, has given us underwater springs of fresh water. Now the bro Yosef goes into, a certain, over 1,000 springs, natural springs. And these springs have primary MeM. He went into Lake Superior MeM, Superior Water, Lake Superior. And all these lakes and springs that are sprouted up that they don't tell us about. And there's over 1,000 of them across the plain, springing up primary MeM. But we got to get our water from, this mountain over here, this Arrowhead over here thing, and this Nestle over here packaging, giving us polluted, convoluted, chapped up water like the bros say. Man. But we got primary MeM, primary water that had never seen the surface of the earth before. Fresh water springs that spew forth large volumes of water off the coast of islands are good examples. Is this play? As we paddle through similar aquagenesis in chapter 8, we won't go there. Okay. Man, you got the Deep Springs. Deep Springs, California is an area that is becoming known as a site for very strange events. What do these deep springs got to do with dragons? What do volcanoes got to do with dragons? You got water dragons, fire dragons, land dragons, marine dragons. So we got to recon this Deep Springs and see what we're talking about. I mean, you're talking about Deep Springs Lake has been probed and it appears bottomless, man. I can't make this shit up, man. Bottomless. It's a bottomless lake right here, Deep Springs, California. Divers have traveled along an underground river 27 miles towards Las Vegas area before having to turn around. Oh, we got men in black suits. I mean, they go on, man. But, we're just talking primary, man. Another article right here from the burningplatform.com. You dig? Several oceans underneath the Earth's crust. Especially interesting to Christians is how this relates to the great flood of Noah's day. Huh? How does it, my Hebrew brothers and sisters? The fact of the matter is the utter impossibility of covering the entire earth, even 40 cubits above the highest mountain with water from the sky above, can't be done, even with the so-called canopy of water vapor and supposedly surrounded the earth in Noah's time. However, the Bible says that the flood started like this. The same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken and the windows of heaven were open. Superior MeM. Superior MeM. Love to the bro Yosef, man. And the fountains of the great deep refers to this massive underground ocean. How did the author of Genesis know about that? Scientists discovered an ocean 400 miles beneath our feet that could fill our oceans 3 times over. There's way more water underneath you and above you. After decades of theorizing and searching, scientists are reporting that they finally found massive reservoir of water in the Earth's mantle, a reservoir so vast that it could fill the Earth's oceans 3 times over. This discovery suggests that the Earth's surface water actually came from within as part of a whole Earth water cycle, rather than from prevailing theory of icy comets striking Earth billions of years ago. That's what they teach our children, and they got to answer that shit in a standardized test, right? They got to say, oh, ice comets. What are comets? Dragons. Gotcha. So they are telling the truth in an inverted way. These dragons are coming from within. The waters and from within, you dig? It's all happening, as always. The more we understand about how the earth formed and how its multitude of interior layers continue to function, the more accurately we can predict the future, weather, sea levels, climate change. We're just talking about the weather, right? We're just talking about the hijacking of the weather, right? These are all closely linked to the tectonic activity that endlessly churns away beneath our feet. All right, so there's more water, right? 400 miles beneath our feet that could fill our oceans 3 times over. Last one is this, man. Check out primarywater.org. You know what I mean? Primary water cover up several oceans underneath the Earth's crust. The burning platform, scientists inventing more deception and not admitting water is a renewable. Man, the article you will read below is a cover up. It's covering up the real water source. Since the water facts are emerging and people are understanding the water scarcity crisis is a hoax, we can expect to read more attempts to hide the water facts. Those that are positioned to profit the most from the illusion of scarce water resources are scrambling to invent confusion, as you will see in the article below. You will note the article states, quote, after decades of theorizing and searching, scientists are reporting that they finally found a massive reservoir of water in the Earth's mantle, a reservoir so vast that could fill the Earth's oceans 3 times over. This discovery suggests that the Earth's surface water actually comes from within. All right, that's what we just read. Of course, the scientists had to move out of the icy comet theory since so much has been revealed about primary water and consistently proven for many decades. What is being hidden in the article are the simple words, water is renewable and continuously created. Water is continuously created as a constant natural process within the Earth's mantle. I mean, just dig on that, man. The constant creation of water. Dig on it. Within Ahchwa. The constant creation of water. Does your creator ever stop creating? Think about hot and cold springs, geysers, desert oases, and many wells that have been providing pure, clean water to other cities, countries, and privileged people worldwide. Primary water. Superior MeM has been a well-kept secret, man. I wasn't even, conscious of all this primary water, man. Yosef the Real brought this out, so let's go. And the article below is not the entire truth. Go to primarywater.org where you can read the water Bible. New water for a thirsty world. Okay, we're going to get that next time. Watch the YouTube Primary Water Explain. And we're going to make sure we get that too. All right. Man, and just get the rest, man, because, we're just talking about what's coming up, man. So let's go. Let's go, man. Y'all ready to pop off, man? Just go with the flow, with the bro. Just quickly, man, if I put this in, let me just see if it pops up here. This might be, I got a lot of drop on this primary water. Why we do not have a water shortage. So there's a lot of good drop on this primary water. I know Yosef the Real's doing a great job. Make sure you're on his YouTube page, man. Get that drop. I'll leave a link to that. Yeah, maybe we'll get some of this for the disc, man. Oh, man, let's get past all this hijack first. StopTheCrime.net got a lot of drop as well that the bro is pointing out as well, man. So get all this drop. Let's go, man, with Yosef. Take it away. We're going to belly flop, man, like we do. You already know, though.
Now, the answer to that, we're going to dig, okay? But understand that the water, the MeM, that was on the earth,
let's get it,
prior to the flood, was superior MeM.
Superior MeM.
Okay, it was primary water. You understand me? No need for cleaning. Higher water. Okay, so what I'm saying is that majority of the water on the land at the time, higher MeM, was better off than what it is now. Okay, short by far. Okay, and being that it came from the ground. Okay. All right. So if there's no water cycle, was there a phosphorus cycle? Okay. Was there a phosphorus cycle? Okay. Understand that what we learned last week was every living thing has phosphorus, even the plants. Okay. The plants acquire the phosphorus due to the runoffs. Okay. So if you have a garden, all right, a way to stop extra phosphorus from inhabiting your garden is to build like a trench. Okay, build a trench around your garden. Okay, for real. That way, it sinks into that, and you limit it. All right. So back to phosphorus. Okay, what's phosphorus here? Understand that everything has phosphorus. We have phosphorus within our bones. Okay, so everything that has ever lived has phosphorus. Okay, understand what the man said is a decay of things. Okay, so what is phosphorus? Okay, the dead, the bones, the washed up. So the bones, the giants. Did the phosphorus come into play after the flood or before the flood? The red, the white. Did the water cycle come to play before the flood or after the flood? Only talking phosphorus. It's irrelevant. The red, the white, the giants. Because we weren't there at the beginning, but we're here now. We're just comparing. We're comparing, okay, the MeM of the ancient times compared to the MeM in our time right now, because it's all happening. Alright? So, being that everything died, okay, understand what was on earth, understand the reasoning for the flood, understand for the amalgamations, the reasons, okay, understand what Atlantis was doing, understand what these people were worshiping, okay, abominations. So the reason for the flood was to get rid of these amalgamations, these hybrids, okay, and the fact that giants were on the land. Phosphorus. We had these falling angels, the red, on the land, the white, okay, and they went into these women, these earth women, and they bore giants. Okay? And their phosphorus is on a whole different level compared to our phosphorus. This is a different phosphorus. Nonetheless, it's all accumulated in the cycle. All right. So what happened? Death. Hawa brought forth death, except unto the righteous Noah. Right. Descendant of Enoch. Okay? So, we have death in the waters. We have death all around this ark. Phosphorus and everything that ever lived. That has these Raphaim been mixed with these waters, these giants. Understand, get the perspective that the runoff after this flood was vital. Okay? Dead things are floating. Okay? Decompositions of things were abominations around.
Go, Papal.
This is how the phosphorus, this is my theory, okay? This is what I'm telling y'all about my theory.
Let go.
That this phosphorus got out of hand, acquired, okay? And accumulated, and has been accumulated, and still is accumulated. Now, since the flood, alright? Now, that is war composition. Worth the shit. Those were my two little theories on the development of this phosphorus and whether or not the water cycle even existed back in ancient times. Alright, let's turn to Genesis. Alright, Genesis in my Torah. We're gonna go to chapter 2. We're gonna pop off from verse 5. Alright,
let's pop it off.
When Hawa, the powwow made a mob in heaven, when no shrub of the field was yet on earth, and no grasses of the field had yet sprouted, because the powwow Hawa had not sent rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the soil, but a natural flow would well up. It would well up, my Navel, MeM, from the ground, and water the whole surface of the earth. Alright? So man was made, and he tilled the ground. There was no need for rain, because natural wells would sprout up, okay, and fill a mile with water, nourishment. Okay, so if we have this going on, okay, understand what's going on too. The whole time before this flood, people are living a long life, an abundance of primary water on a mile. Longevity in life. Need I say further? Nah, man. How long will the people live in? How long, my naga? Hundreds. Good MeM.
Tawab MeM.
You got Enoch for 365.
Yeah.
Right? You got Lamech 777. You got
I mean, we was living, weren't we? We was living. I'm just doing some belly flops. You gotta come over here and download this drop. We just falling back in the water. You gotta download. I'm leading you to the water. You come over here and download this drop. Matter of fact, man, you know what I'm gonna do, man. You know what we gonna do? Yosef the Real. That's episode 9. That's episode 9, man. I want to get a little bit of episode 8. You know what I mean? We're going to surf the wave with Yosef the Real. Because he, man, I mean, at least for the last, 2 or 3 weeks, man, has been dropping heavy bars, man. Love to the bro natural, man. All these bars are heavy, man. Go get that natural drop. You already know, though. All right, man, let's go. Yosef, use the search box. It's here for a reason. You're like, man, what did Yosef just put out, man, on the drop? What's really popping on the drop? Yosef got that water. Superior MeM. I love that dragon in the background, man, every single time. Oh, yeah, definitely get that hashtag facts. Definitely get that eat the cut. That's my cut. All right, this is episodes 4 through 8. I'm trying to tell you, man, your bro drop is on it, man. Hey, man, I need to get some rest, man. I just want to get caught up, man. I feel so good. Feel so good, man. Feel like old times, man. Feel It feels like in old times, man. All right, man. Hold up. First of all, let's keep the water flowing. And then we're going to belly flop, get a little bit of this part A. Can you dig? We're just talking about the wall. Come on, man. Don't hijack us, man. Let us get our superior MeM in peace. All right, let's get part 8. Belly flop the same way. Told you we're going to do a trifecta. I told you yourself we're going to do a trifecta. Let's go. Well, make sure you get a piece, man. I mean, get all these drops, man. Get all these drops. Primary MeM. Let's pop off, man. It's belly flop.
This bearer, okay? This light bringer, okay? This carrier. We're talking about none other than Lucifer.
I'm going to bring it right here. Bring it right here.
Saw a well of
Let's go. Let's go.
Alright?
Superior MeM.
Reopened her eyes, and what appeared? Natural spring of water. Alright? She went and filled the skin with water and let the boy drink. Ahchwa was with the boy, and he grew up and dwelt in the wilderness and became a bowman. He lived in the wilderness of Peru, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt. So Ishmael mingled with the people of Egypt. Nonetheless, for the word we quam. And like I said, it goes down. It goes down at the water well, at the water hole.
Wow.
It's primary water. This is scripture. It's life. This is stuff that we read and we don't get. We don't pick up on. It's primary MeM. It's all through the Torah. We're uncovering the veil as we read, as we progress the conscious mind, elevation to the ninth barrier. Wow. And for the word, wow. For the word, we say loud wow. Already, you understand?
Wow.
Now let's get the recap, you heard me? If you missed last week, let me tune you in. Put your ears on deck, put your ears on here, right? So basically we covered water, primary water, all right? And the understanding that primary water is superior water, which needs no treatment, which we read in the rock, okay? We're giving order, the rock, as you would order your worker. But Moshe struck the rock twice. What came out? Nonetheless, superior water, superior MeM, primary water.
I mean, it's all making sense, right? Moshe struck the rock. Now the scriptures are coming to life. Primary MeM. Let go.
With what Stephen Reese, the scientist, has discovered and what he has stated, he has drilled over 70 plus wells, and 71 of them being successful out of 72. And he has stated they're coming from a rock prominence. And it's elevated the areas that they are finding superior MeM. You're somewhat elevated compared to a flat plain. So it's on a mountain, a tree. Okay, and others like that. Understand. Put your ears on. Wow. Superior MeM. Been around. So we just been reading. Understand that it goes down by the water hole. It goes down where the superior MeM at. Understand that. Water is 3/5 of this earth pond. Water makes up 3/5 of this earth pond. You understand me?
Fight for some, stand for some good milk.
There is no above.
Popeye's chicken.
There's only east, west, north, south. No above. Firmament. The waters separated. Understand, overstand what we've been studying. Superior MeM. The land came out of the water. Understand that water breaks down everything. Water is superior. Water breaks down everything. Test the oceans. Test the seas, my naga. Test the lakes. They're undrinkable water. Undrinkable waters. Water breaks down everything. Even dirt. Even a mile. Overstand that water once filled everything. Water is a breakdown. Breaks down. Superior water is under us. The land came out of the water. Water is life. Superior MeM. So we got the drop. We understand that no water that sits on top of a mine is drinkable water. So where's all the bottled water coming from, my naga? Where are these stores getting this water from? Okay. Where? They say it's from a spring. Is it? Is it though? Because there are still wells out here that provide water, superior water. But we get fed bullshit. They waste money on a pipe system that's beneath the ground that travels water from A to B to B to C to C to D and so forth. These same pipes need to be worked on, my naga. They be talking about this for years. Past 50 years. And what's going on? We get bad water brought to us. Okay? It goes to these plants. The same water that leaves our home goes to these plants. And in return, these plants clean them and put what they want in it and send it back to you, my naga. Telling you it's a frequency war. It's been a frequency war.
Man.
It's a frequency war on water. Understand that a lot of substances that are liquid are called water. That's the drop.
Come on.
A lot of substances that we think may be water or called water. So what are we drinking? We need that well water.
Superior milk.
We need that natural.
We need that ayahuasca.
So understanding all we know
Superior.
about where natural water comes from, springs.
That lake Superior,
Okay, they're all due about this land, but we get fed the bullshit. Understand, silent weapons, secret wars on Umanaga, frequency war on Umanaga since day one. Overstand, Iron Mountain, Quam to understand, Agenda 21. These are all ways to take out the original Khan. These are all ways to limit the people. Behind what? Behind greed, Juno Dinedo, the powers to be. Fuck them. We want good MeM. We want good Wata. We're supposed to give our children good Wata. Superior Wata. But are we? Are our droplets getting real MeM? Let us continue. Stephen Reese, the finding of superior water is vital. It's essential. Primary water is under us. So if you missed last week, you're pretty much covered up. Already.
Straight up.
Pop off. Alright. Find an interesting topic.
If you missed last week, you got caught up. I said we doing the trifecta, chicky recta to the factor, man. We're gonna get last week, man. We're gonna get week 7. We started at week 9, week 8. Let's do the week 7 trifecta dismount. Maybe get a couple minutes of that primary water link, man. I mean, I'm just building this as we go, man. We've been talking about weather modification, geoengineering, stirring the water with electromagnetic technology, primary MeM, superior water, and this hoax, man, that there's a scarcity, man, that they're getting this bottled water from springs, man. But we're just talking about which springs, because if you ain't talking about the primary water spring, so you don't need no plant, you don't need no recycling plant to get that primary MeM. You dig? Wakey. For the trifecta, Yosef the real, we popping off.
Wireless, my knock. You got a TV in this wireless, my knock? Yeah, you're getting hit.
Let's go.
Your TV connecting to your other
devices.
Hardware? Wireless? Yeah, my knock. You getting work.
You getting work, man. Let's go.
Ain't no good MeM.
Let's go.
There ain't no good MeM out here.
Let's go.
So you're putting hijack 101.
They control you. You are MeM.
Hijack Luciferian. Diane. But this ain't about the MeM.
Natural by law.
But you are the MeM. You are the flow. You are the memory.
You are the water.
But you be in control through RMF, through the spectrum, through this ether. The Kashka.
Mind control 5G is here, baby.
The radio spectrum is part of the electromagnetic spectrum with frequency hertz from 30 hertz to 300 gigahertz. That's the whole spectrum. Electromagnetic waves in these frequencies ranges are called waves, Managa, radio waves that work this shit out you.
We're only talking frequency.
They're widely used in modern technology, must I tell you? I think we know. I think the world is going wireless.
Cuckoo.
We done lost our cuckoos. For wireless. I don't need no wires for my TV, cause it's 2.4. It's 5K.
I got the Apple Watch. I got the Android Watch. Check me out here.
Khan is working your living room, my knock. Artificial
Check me out here, man.
satellites. Artificial satellites.
The parasite.
Radio waves are widely used in modern technology. Bluetooth.
That's how we break down that
Let's get orientation. Satellite. Back in our perspective, we're only talking telecommunications. We're talking FCC regulations. Go.
Papal.
Put the FCC up on the chopping block. I'll be the first to cut their head. Satellites. 5G must roll out. Antennas. Dipole. What have you? You see the commercials? Satellites. T-Mobile pumping it. Artificial. Sprint pumping it. Artificial. 5G on your ass.
Antennas. Dipole.
Just like you keep your phone in your back pocket.
Always working the shit out you.
How many cases you think in the next 10 years we gonna have? We got cancer coming from the buttocks area, from them cheeks.
Already gave you the drop out the lady with the cell phone on her breast.
Keep putting your phone on your body, you're done.
Shit done. You heard me? Cancer. Done.
Keep showing Ahchwa to your phone because you can't live without your phone. My knock.
Gotta pick it up every second.
Keep it on your body. My knock, you will have some parasites.
Done.
Tired of speaking the same calls. Tired of speaking about Bluetooth.
The same language. Wi-Fi.
When Yasharella gon' listen. When Yasharella gon' understand that the ways of man is not our way.
The boy.
When you gonna understand that simplicity. Simplicity
things.
is what runs the Papal.
Not this advanced tech.
Some of us are lost without a phone.
Who you tell?
Some of us can't even continue.
Wave your hand if you're lost without your phone.
Without your phone, you're miserable.
It's cool though.
You can't live one day without it.
If you raise your hand, it's time to meet.
That's why it has to be on you.
Implications, you heard me?
RF radiation. What we talking about? 2.4, 5. We're talking about the radio spectrum.
That's working this shit out, you heard me? Sprint ain't gonna tell you that. T-Mobile ain't gonna tell you that.
Different parts of the radio spectrum are allocated by the ITU.
The FCC gon' push it.
Different radio transmission technologies.
The president gon' push it.
Some 40 radio communication services are defined in the ITU's radio regulations. In some cases, parts of the spectrum are sold or licensed to operators for private radio transmissions. What we're talking about T-Mobile coming to get a piece of that spectrum. Sprint, Boost Mobile.
Give me that.
They all using the same towers. It's 5G all over. Understand somebody owns them. Satellite. Somebody pays homage to get on that antenna. Antennas. Boost might not have it to have amplifiers. All their antennas. But they can merge in sub-accounting. Artificial. Borrow that antenna. Borrow the 5G. Satellites. Everyone got 5G, my knocker.
It's 5G. Everybody bouncing off the tower.
Understand what we doing. Understand what this FCC rollout 2020 is doing. Putting antennas on every block. 2021 and 2.
Ain't no satellites, you heard me? Don't push no cell
Rural
phone.
areas, you're gonna get work too. Artificial will not be left out. You will not be left out. A $9 billion plan has just been in effect for all areas. They get hit with the Wi-Fi. They get hit with this 5G. There's no official 2.4 by it's no play.
Ain't no play, my dog. I'm wishing attack on you.
Ain't no play.
Cell phone towers, artificial telephone operators, broadcast television stations.
Ain't no play. We just talking about superior water, superior MeM. Superior water, superior MeM.
Watching your ass now on 5G. Run a corner. Epigram words.
Let's get right here.
Isn't it? I still see Bluetooth in your ears.
Right here.
By his decree, his reserves ability for the upright, and is a shield for those who live blamelessly, guarding the paths of justice, protecting the way of those loyal to him. You will then understand what is right, just, and equitable. Every good course for wisdom will enter your mind, and knowledge will delight you. Forsake will protect you, and discernment will guard you. It will save you from the way of evil men. From men who speak duplicity, who live the paths of rectitude, okay? From the men who speak duplicity, parallels, implications, phantoms.
We just talking about that fork tongue, man.
To follow the way of darkness, who rejoice in doing evil and exalt in the duplicity of evil men whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their course. It will save you from the forbidden woman, from the alien woman whose talk is smooth, who forsakes the companion of her youth and disregards the covenant of her. Wow, her house sinks down to death, and her course leads to the shades. Who all who go to her cannot return and find again the paths of life. So follow the way of the Tawab and keep the paths of the just, for the upright will inhabit the earth. For the upright will inherit Amah. You understand?
The upright.
Keep the laws. Keep the mitzvahs.
Let's go. Let's go.
Be back.
And we will keep popping off. AI to Yosef, the real. Go get them. Go download all the drop, man. Just hit up the search box. Man. Put in that Yosef and get the drop, man. And that goes for all the Ether Squad, man. Make sure you got the schedule. Make sure you in the flow. You know what I'm saying? The bros, the sisters are putting it all in, man. You know what I mean? Giving all they got every day, you know what I mean? Every week. So become a Dragon sponsor on the wall and, allow us to break bread with bros like Yosef, with sisters like Ty Battle. And then, you know what I mean? The list goes on and on that we, increase our flow, we share our flow, and we combine our flow and we build our flow. You know what I mean? All praise to the eternal flow. Hawa. And like I said, maybe got a couple more minutes. Let's check our time. Make sure we good. Oh, perfect. We got a few minutes to see what this primary water is all about. This is from stopthecrime.net. So, this is coming with a lot of this source material for a lot of this malarkey going on behind the scenes. Go check them out. Let's get it.
And Paul Power, the founder of the Primary Water Institute, primarywaterinstitute.org. We're going to be discussing this illustration that you see before you now in detail, which is a description of primary and secondary water cycles. It shows how the mantle of the earth contains H2O. We're going to be talking about the primary water hydrologic cycle driven by Earth's energy. Primary water is created deep within the earth from the synthesis of hydrogen and oxygen under tremendous pressure from the Earth's internal heat.
Can y'all believe this? I mean, all this water. I mean, of course you can't, right? Allow why? All this leads to one conclusion, that you have a creator. You know, this is not no Big Bang Theory situation. This water is created within the earth from a whole nother cycle they're calling the primary hydraulic cycle, driven by Earth's energy. It's got nothing to do with the sky. It's got nothing to do with the oceans. It's got nothing to do with that or that or that. This is its own separate, flow that they're not letting the, public or private, citizens, know what's really popping unless they got their hands in it. But if they had their hands in it, perhaps they can have their hands in the fountain of youth. Now, does the fountain of youth come from rainwater or from the primary MeM? And is it a, connection of where this primary MeM is located? Does it have anything to do with the vortexes? Is it location, where it's all happening? So they say, oh, you got fresh mountain spring water. Are you saying it's being sprung up from within? Because unless it's coming from within, it ain't pure water.
H2O in the form of vapor is forced upward through rock fissures, which are the weakest areas of Earth's crust, becoming liquid as it cools. Primary water is forced upwards, while atmospheric water is subject to the effects of gravity and flows downward. We're going to be talking about this and starting at the left of this primary water and secondary water cycle illustration. And Paul will be joining in the detailed description of what this illustration is showing you. So when we look at the left, Paul, we're seeing at the furthest left a dark line, and it is entitled Natural Primary Water Spring.
Yes.
So that is showing that a spring is coming up deep within the mantle of the earth, and it is primary water. Is that right?
That is correct. Actually, the manifestation of these springs, they are quite common throughout the world. Sometimes they manifest on top of mountains, sometimes in the valleys, sometimes in the middle of the deserts, middle of such deserts as the Sahara, at which point nobody ever asks the questions of what are the oases are all about. They are obviously not a collection of waters that are gathered from a high or a place many thousands of miles away, but in fact, there they are. Suddenly, sometimes they emerge in the middle of the desert, in Sahara and elsewhere, when places where there shouldn't be any water. There is no water coming down from the sky, yet they come up. Now, the illustration on the poster, where it says where it indicates natural primary water spring, attempts to illustrate how such waters rise from down below. It makes no difference whether they're on a flat area like it shows on the picture, or on a higher structure, top of a mountain, in different places. But nonetheless, they do actually are forced up from down below. They are forced up from down below. And the next one that says primary water well at depth of say 200 to 800 feet, but it could be from 0 to 800 feet. It hardly matters, because if one is to drill into that same faulted structure as the illustration so tries to explain, one could encounter this water at any one given depth. It doesn't have to go 800 feet or 1,000 feet. It could be anywhere from zero to whatever.
Now, Paul, let me ask you, because I'm
Sure.
seeing a small dark line between the first illustrated line, which says the natural primary water spring that you just spoke about, and then I'm seeing a small line with a little yellow situation at the top of that dark line.
Well, that attempts to illustrate the drilling rig that is drilling into that fracture. That is what it tries to, what it attempts to do. It attempts to show how you can access that water by drilling into it.
Okay, and then that third line in, which says PW for primary water well, at the depth of 200 to 800 feet.
That's the same one. That's the same. It tries to explain that particular yellow thing there with the black line into the.
So all you gotta do is know where to drill, where to get down there. Now, according to this description, it's about 800 feet. But are there other places where, it's a lot closer to tap in, clock in?
Into the fracture, it can actually access water.
Okay. Then we're seeing an illustration of rain coming from a cloud over some buildings.
Yes.
And that is, of course, illustrating the secondary water cycle.
Indeed.
Okay, so as we move along to the next line that is entitled permeable surface, could you explain that, please?
Well, that is basically most of the structures that are occupied by habitation, like cities, etc., where you have so much topsoil and soil. Period. In other words, permeable soil that is unsorted material that could be anywhere from crushed gravel to sands to soil that will have eroded, oxidized on the surface from which we grow our food.
So what is your definition then for the listeners on permeable surface?
Permeable surface is that which has been on the, let's say it has been oxidized, and water can penetrate. Water may penetrate because the material is not sorted, not solid.
So it's void of concrete.
Yes, or solid rock.
Okay. All right. Then the next.
And then consequently, it will permit penetration of water from the secondary cycle.
Okay.
In other words, it permits secondary cycle circulation. In other words, you can evaporate it, or you can permeate it.
Okay. So it literally allows the secondary water cycle, which is from rain and or snow melt.
You got it. That's exactly correct.
Okay. Then we're looking at the next line that is entitled polluted aquifer.
Yes, well, that any aquifer that is trapped beneath this permeable material which we occupy, okay, has to be polluted because of our presence. I mean not necessarily a malicious presence, but we do occupy that space. So anything that we do, anything we throw away, flush, do away with, will find its way down to this aquifer.
So any pollutants from chemical companies, from
human beings, animals, plants, rotting plants, whatever.
Right. Okay. So then. So that would be like the injection wells that we've discovered that there are about 680,000 of them, where it was felt.
Well, apart from injection wells, that is basically all the basin water from which we are pumping water out of. In other words, if you look at different areas in the San Joaquin Valley or any other place where you can measure a drawdown from that container, which represents that aquifer, it has already been polluted to some degree by surface occupation, be it humans, be it chemicals. Well, humans and animals are the ones that would be contributing to a pollutant.
So now we're looking at the next.
Let me skip ahead a little bit. Let's belly flop.
Mingle.
Okay. Then we're looking at all of these fissures that are coming up all along the base of this the mantle or the mountain range, as people would view it. That's an expression of the constant and continual availability of the primary water as it is continually and constantly surfacing.
Well, in places, as you notice, below that next peak, it is not surfacing in any shape or form because it's not surfacing in the shape of springs or anything. Now, when you go farther over, okay, and you start to looking at those little yellow things meant to illustrate drilling rigs. You can access those waters that are trying to surface.
Okay, so
this water is trying to surface everywhere, like the veins, right? The earth veins. And the water is trying to surface everywhere. So if you can find, a few of these, where it's popping off, you might be able to tap into something that haven't been popped off yet, that are, nothing but pure water, superior MeM. Superior MeM drilling in. I'm just belly flopping one more time for the dismount.
As being distilled water. What would you say to that?
Well, in fact, it is distilled water in a sense that has to evaporate.
Let's get that.
If it's hot, it invariably will have an element of radioactivity associated with it. Now, be it radium or be it strontium, etc., it all depends on where it is associated and where it is in relation to a whole lot of things.
Well, I know that some people have been taught to think of rainwater as being distilled water. What would you say to that?
Well, in fact, it is distilled water in a sense that it has to evaporate. See, water has the unique property of turning into gas. Gaseous, steam. In other words, if you subject well, of course you can verify that in your own backyard or in your kitchen. If you put a trap over a container of water, with water, you will note that it will want to steam. Now that is evaporated water. That is water that is pure in every sense of the word. There's nothing else in there. It doesn't carry any minerals with it that would otherwise be associated with those waters that are coming from down below, that have to find their way up, and especially in a heated form, they tend to dissolve minerals and carry those minerals with it.
Okay. Now, I found it very interesting and a very important definition of what hydrogen means, because you had referred me to the definition, and I was surprised what we have not been taught in school. And certainly when you look at the Greek definition of hydro, which means water, and then you look at hydrogen, genes, it means water forming. So when we really look at what hydrogen is, and we realize that it is an element, and it is one of the most prevalent elements on the planet.
Well, probably in the universe too. Now they're finding all these ice cubes floating around them.
Yes. Well, so we have plenty of water. So now we're looking at this illustration. We're moving down from what we see as the volcanic eruption. Mm-hmm. And we've talked a bit about the surfacing of primary water and how that then comes about in many areas in the form of hot springs.
Okay.
And then we're moving along down that mountain. We're seeing other fissures that are encapsulated. They're not exiting. And then we're seeing where it says fault lines filled with primary water. And then we're seeing some yellow lines coming out from the far right of this illustration and somewhat going vertical, but not necessarily.
Well, they could be. Those are basically those are also fault lines, but they really intended to illustrate shear zones, and that can happen any whatever directions. We just didn't want to have them put onto one single area where you couldn't refer to them.
Now, when you mean a shear zone, could you explain that?
Well, when you have these earthquakes, in other words, the material, the solid material, is sort of bouncing around. It depends on which way the push comes from, what direction. Portions of it could break off and push forward one direction or another, upward, sideways, so forth. They are not faulted lines in the real sense of the word that they are vertical. They are in fact horizontal. They are faults also, but they are a result or a consequence of activity from down below, indirect activity, I should say.
Now, let me ask you a question that I've heard other people question as well. If we were to allow more drilling of wells that actually was intentionally directing the intention of those wells towards primary water, would it reduce some of the stress of the water trying to exit that hasn't been able to, and to perhaps reduce some of the earthquake zones a bit, take some pressure off?
Well, it could, but in a sense that it wouldn't stop earth movements, because you see, everything down below is under stress. What it would do is potentially mitigate major earth movements. In other words, it would be better to create an earthquake that is, say, 2 instead of a 7.
Yes.
In other words, I'd rather live through 10 of them that are 2 than one of them that, well, first of all, for your water into that basin to recharge that system, even if there were drought periods, in order to maintain the ability of that basin to sustain itself and keep the salt water out. Well, now, that you can accomplish that by getting that water out of the California aqueduct. At the same time, you could do that if you had water wells in structures that Ventura County is very well noted for. You could pump that same water and keep the water if
I mean, I'll leave that link. I'm gonna leave this link too for you, man. We're just making a great dismount. Love to my bro Yosef, man.
Hello, I'm Patrick Stewart.
Oh man, Dr. Hijack, man, Dr. Hijack. Love to Yosef, man. I mean, for real talk, this needs to be discussed a whole lot more, especially in our community where we are, seeking to own our land and rock on it. You know what I mean? How can we tap in? And does that relieve the stress of the area, man, by tapping into the well? The bro does a great job connecting it with the script, man. I mean, even going back to the dragon well, you dig? Let's do one more final belly flop for the dismount. This is Primary Water, the University of Science and Philosophy.
While in a very incomplete state of explanation, or to give explanation thereof for it now, is absolutely positively sound. There is no such thing as impossible. I am not dwelling or wasting time on impossible things or impossibility. Granted that I am still sane. I could not dwell on anything that is impossible. I'm only dwelling on things that are ununderstood or unknown, but within the range of possible accomplishment.
Steve, I
am reminded of one of the sentences that Dr. Russell speaks of frequently. He says, all questions are answerable in the light. Right? Thou art the light. Thou canst answer them.
Absolutely correct. Ignorance is darkness. There's no question. And in fact, that is so clearly expressed and defined that we find that already in the Bible. Thousands of years ago, that statement was appropriate. It still is.
You feel then is that as you ask these questions, keep searching for the answer.
Right. I'm trying to get light into a dark nothingness.
Here's another paragraph. He is right in principle, but experiment and research without knowledge of the construction of matter might accidentally stumble on good results, but knowledge cuts out time-consuming, money-wasting experiment and secures its results unfailingly in the shortest possible length of time. That is why we are going to build our laboratory and produce these miracles quickly and directly, which science says cannot be done.
Correct.
How do you like that attitude?
That is absolutely correct. The experience, the sum total of knowledge in our industry and our human behavior must be indexed, scientifically marked down, step by step. And if we are beginning to form an organization and a group of us men getting together to index our work, our petrographic, our crystallographic, our geological, structural conditions, I am sure that it will be only a short while from now to train men and go out and determine the location and produce water wherever we wish. Within that, I say, structural, geological areas suitable for such work. And they are almost everywhere. The world over. There's no limit, state or country. And that must be done. We have to fall in line. We will not ever get results by preaching, by talking. There is maybe another man outside this Dr. Russell and myself now who are susceptible even to consider this.
As far as I know, that's correct.
Right. Now, for that reason, we are absolutely getting off the track. If we wish to educate, talk about, or daydream about it, put the wells down as I have done. If places involved where money values change hands rapidly or could be great gains can be made, get a fee. And as I have demonstrated in the past, where the ruination of nothing, but I'll produce the wells. And that is the only way we will get any step forward, by producing a couple of hundred more of those wells, as you fellas have seen I have already in the past. These results will eliminate all the conversation, the no, and all obstructions.
And you feel as this knowledge is accumulated and revealed, and you gain it, then you can scientifically go ahead with your...
After we synchronize and index that work properly, all the speculation or the haphazard proposition is out. We must come down to a scientific approach to that. Now, by this I mean to say that I wouldn't like the oil industry spend 50 years producing wells and billions of dollars a year and come up with one well producing against 26 dry holes, which is the record last year, after 50 years. Because those fellas, these fools today, are still looking for the organic origin of oil, which is stupid, absolutely stupid. Oil is the same as water, as metal, as mineral. It has nothing to do with the organic, the marine life.
Steve, you've remarked sometime about the basic principle of being a monoatomic cycle principle or something like that. Just what do you mean by that?
By that I mean that we start from zero and go through the different forms of compression and density back into zero.
through a cycle of
from gas to gas,
step to step.
from nothing to nothing, ever repeating, going on.
That's what you mean by the monoatomic cycle.
Right.
Here's another paragraph. I have full and complete knowledge of that miracle of water, which your inspired geochemist is visioning. I have full and complete knowledge of 100 other miracles of matter transformation.
That's correct. Now, where is intelligence? What are we doing in our institution and in our schools, in our polytechnics and caltechnics and what? Why are we refusing to lift the blinds and see the light? Explain it to me. I am certainly not ever finished in school. I had a good start, a good foundation. And when the Kaiser lost his job, I was through. So I had to go out and educate myself. And my education was nothing but just poor, common, plain observation. There is so much to see everywhere. Study nature, observe nature, watch the rocks, watch the plants.
You've been seeking to learn how nature functions and operates.
Right.
You know that's where you get your knowledge.
That's correct.
Well, he says, I have full knowledge of 100 other miracles of matter transformation which science has not yet dreamed of, because
I want to help after I got another 100 or 2 of those. I will have a lot of them. And of course, this to me is a sunshine. See? This is sunshine to me when I get a man of his caliber to know what we are doing or I try to do. Who is a man with intelligence and a training and understanding that knows I'm not crazy.
well, you seem to respect each other in that regard.
Right?
There were no rock crystals. If you would know more of what I mean, subject some rock crystals weighing 2 ounces to the heat of an electric furnace. You will find about 1/5 of an ounce of gray powder left as a residue. If you examine this under a microscope, you will find that it is devoid of any crystal structure whatsoever. Right. You agree with that?
Then the heat has dissociated.
And so the rock crystals or the crystals have disappeared. Right.
Dissociation.
Water is a product of your body, and the forests of the earth are endless, repetitive products. Water has many stages of growth.
Many is right.
The primary water you speak of is a secondary stage.
Yes, from its original, that is right. It is definitely a secondary.
The water we drink is a third stage. And the heavy water which your aid found is a fourth stage. And there are others, all of which have been extruded from the planet as your body and mine have been extruded, or should we say, born. And all must be returned to the planet as rains return for rebirth, or as your body and mine must be returned to it as death on its way to rebirth.
To rebirth, a new life, new cycle.
You already have said something the other evening about the cycle of life and death as repetitive.
Right.
What is your thought about that?
That is correct. And I've also have mentioned to you prior to the appearance of this letter that that wasn't water. Very long ago and beyond from the present area and its present consistency we have it here all coming out of the well. I haven't gone in very deeply at the time expressing my thoughts or my what would you say explanation of it for one major reason. While I sense it and feel it, you see, I still haven't got the word to apply it properly. I'm very reluctant to go into that very deeply. Now, this man is far more capable to talk and bring some understanding to a third person.
As he As I have words here, you follow those words. Yes. As satisfactory. Absolutely. If you mention the word ice to any man, he thinks of it as frozen water, or water which has taken on a crystalline form of hexagonal shapes and structure. That same man would not think of a granite rock as ice. But I think your chemist does. I do. Do you? I've been talking to my friend Rod for years about that. Well, and that is what it is. But it will not melt at 33 degrees, nor will its structure and design be hexagonal. It will be cubed instead, for it is heavier water frozen more solidly.
What? Did y'all ever hear that? Granite rock is heavy water frozen more solidly. I'm just going to let y'all pontificate on that, man. We talking primary water. Get the rest of the drop. I'll leave all these links, man. Stephen Reese, and Walter Russell. And make sure, man, make sure you are on the site. You are downloading these great shows, man, that we're putting out on the daily at 432 The Drop Radio. And make sure you tune in for Ahchwa Battle Time, Battle Poetry Hour. It's all happening. It's all happening at the home of Drop Nation. Y'all stay up, y'all suit up, and y'all choose up with the superior MeM. Ahchwa, Dawada, to Yosef, the real. Catch the Aki every Sunday, 7 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Central, only at 432 The Drop Radio. Download the app. Ahchwa.